I'm going to show you the Chase Trifecta in a way that you haven't seen before. I'll tell you how in this video by using just 3 cards in the strategy and spending categories that we talk about, how you'll make $2,000 in travel value just in your first year. That's a pretty nice vacation, or it could be multiple vacations even. I'll give you actionable steps and easy tips that you can take to build out your own trifecta and get you confident along the way in how to maximize every single point that you can get in this incredible setup. Now, the Chase Trifecta is all about spreading out high earning multipliers in some of your higher spending categories that you shop in normally in everyday life. Then it's about pulling these points together and effortlessly having options to redeem them for really, really strong value in the Chase Travel portal or through other Chase partners. Believe it or not, I'll show you the math behind getting these cards and how just 3 of them can make you over $2,000 in travel value in your first year. First, let's talk about building the setup. The 2 Freedom credit cards from Chase are always included in a Chase Trifecta. This would be the Chase Freedom Flex and the Chase Freedom Unlimited. Then you have the option to choose from one of 2 Chase Sapphire Cards, either the Chase Sapphire Preferred and its $95 annual fee, or the Chase Sapphire Reserve and its $550 annual fee. Now, before you say I'm crazy for suggesting getting 3 credit cards in a year, including one with either a $95 or $550 annual fee, hear me out in how building out this setup will actually make you a ton of money, and those annual fees will be well worth it and minimized through correct use and the right strategy. Let's start with your 2 base cards in the setup, the Chase Freedom cards. A quick note, you'll see in screenshots and videos that I show you all throughout this video that these are marketed as cashback cards. However, you're actually earning Chase Ultimate Rewards points, so instead of cashback, you'll get points in the same value as the cashback being shown, which later on you'll be able to convert to more travel benefits. In the Chase Trifecta, the Chase Freedom Flex is known for just one thing, and that is taking advantage of that 5% back on rotating quarterly categories. With the Freedom Flex, you'll earn 5% back on rotating categories up to $1,500 in spend that change every quarter throughout the year. Chase makes these really attainable and really easy to earn. For example, in January through March, users earned 5% back on grocery stores, fitness clubs, and gym memberships and spas. In April through June, Chase users are going to earn 5% back on Amazon.com, hotel spending, and restaurant spending. As you can see, these are categories that pretty much everybody uses from time to time. Now, the Freedom Flex offers a number of different spending categories and benefits. However, these are going to be duplicated by some of your other cards in the strategy, so we're going to skip over those as we're focused on building out the trifecta and not just the benefits of the Freedom Flex as a card by itself. However, I do want to mention that Chase Trifecta holders should also put their cell phone bill spending on the Freedom Flex. That's because this card comes with the benefit of cell phone protection, which offers you $800 per claim against covered theft or damage for phones listed on your monthly cell phone bill when you've paid for your cell phone bill with the Freedom Flex the month before the incident happens. Now, let's move along to the most commonly used card in this setup, the $0 annual fee Chase Freedom Unlimited. A quick note, Chase is constantly running different bonuses and promotions above and beyond their standard sign-up bonus offer, especially on the Freedom Unlimited. For the past few months, if you use the link down below in my bio, there have been different offers that Chase has been putting out that range from additional cash back on sign-up to increased percentages in different categories or every category when signing up for this card. Now, the Freedom Unlimited gets a ton of use inside the trifecta. Inside this card, you'll earn 5% back on Chase Travel, 3% back on dining at restaurants, 3% on drugstores, and the key is a flat 1.5% back on everything else. We call this your catch-all card, which means it's your card to use when you're spending in a category that doesn't have a higher multiplier from any other card in your setup. Now you'll notice that there are other cards out there that earn more than 1.5% flat on every other category. You could see the Wells Fargo Active Cash or the Citi Double Cash for more. However, those cards earn a higher percent in the beginning, but Chase allows you, especially in the trifecta, to take that cash you're earning, convert it to rewards points, and actually come out with a higher percentage in redemption value at the very end. I'll show you how all of that works and the math behind that in just a few minutes. Now that you have the Freedom Flex and the Freedom Unlimited in your tool belt, it's time to choose between one of the two Sapphire cards to complete your trifecta. Your first option, and the option that I recommend to most people, is the $95 annual fee Chase Sapphire Preferred. This card earns 5x back on hotels and rental cars purchased through Chase. You'll get 2x back on all other travel purchases, 3x back on dining, which is already covered in the Freedom Unlimited, and 3x back on streaming, 3x back on online grocery store purchases, and the kicker, which is a 25% point value boost when redeeming your points that you've earned in Chase Travel. That boost is the key to the Chase Sapphire cards and what makes your points earning from every other card in this setup, which can be transferred into your Sapphire card, just worth that much more. You can see that in my own Chase account right here. Looking on the screen right now, you'll see that I have 81,829 Chase points, which should be worth at 1 cent per point, $818. However, when I use Chase Travel to book trips, and I do have the Chase Sapphire Preferred, they get that 25% value multiplier inside the Chase Travel portal, meaning my points are really worth $1,022 instead of that $818 that they should be worth. The other option that you can use to boost your point value even further is the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and that comes with an annual fee of $550. However, this card does have a lot of other benefits and credits to help reduce that effective annual fee to something much more reasonable. The first one to know is a $300 travel credit, and that credit will be applied to the first trips that you book inside the Chase Travel portal. In addition to a number of credits and benefits on this card, it will earn 10x back on hotels and car rentals through Chase Travel, 3x on all other travel purchases, and 50% more value on Chase redemptions, which is really what we're focused on for this card in the Chase Trifecta. Now, to bring it all together, why earning in the Chase Trifecta is so good is the incredible coverage it provides across many of your top spending categories. At the end of the day, bring in the Freedom Flex for those rotating categories at 5% back, and of course, your cell phone bill to get that cell phone protection. You'll use the Freedom Unlimited for restaurants and drugstores at 3%, and then as your catch-all card at 1.5%. Then finally, if you get the Sapphire, you'll use it for streaming purchases and online groceries, or if you get the Reserve, you'll use that one for travel purchases with their increased multipliers in that card. But regardless of which Sapphire you choose, you'll take all the points collected throughout all your spending in the setup and move it onto that Sapphire card to get those enhanced multiplier bonuses, which really elevate your travel value rewards. Now, the big question is, how much can this trifecta really earn you? Let's talk real dollars and cents here and what you can expect to get in your first year. The good news is, instead of just saying this trifecta is good, telling you what the categories are, and ending the video right here, I can actually show you the numbers, because the Bureau of Labor Statistics studies the typical person like you and me and what they spend. In those studies, they found out that the typical person spends $33,190 a year on expenses that can be charged to a credit card. When we take the Chase Trifecta and break those cards down and put them in the categories that they excel at the best, you're going to earn, on average, 57,200 Chase Ultimate Rewards points, or simply put, a cash value of $572 for the typical person spending in any given year. However, let's look at how the value of these points start to skyrocket when used in the trifecta. Like I said, 57,200 points when redeemed for cash is worth $572. However, by putting these points into the trifecta and transferring them to your Sapphire card in the Chase Sapphire Preferred, that 57,200 points effectively becomes worth $715 when redeemed in the Chase Travel portal. When put on the Chase Sapphire Reserve and its 50% multiplier, your 57,200 points gets the 50% boost and becomes effectively $858. Now the coolest part here is we can take the value of these travel redemptions and see what the average percent earned in each part of the setup really is. This helps us see whether it's better just to get the Chase Trifecta or just stick to a simple card that would earn 2% cash back on every category and call it a day there. Using the numbers given to us again by the Bureau of Labor Statistics when you're redeeming for cash, that came out to an average percent back of 1.72%. However, when you're building the Trifecta, you'll always have that Sapphire Preferred or the Sapphire Reserve giving you an enhanced multiplier on your points. With the Sapphire Reserve, the average person spending resulted in a cashback value of 2.15%, which is better than most flat rate cashback cards already. If we look at the Sapphire Reserve, that jumps back to an average earnings back on your spend of 2.59%, which shows you the value of continuing to increase those multipliers on the back end for your points. Now that's what the card does for your everyday spending in 1 year. Just think about the impact that optimizing your spending every single year can have in the long run. So now you're starting to see how much real value this setup can provide as it relates to travel. The next question I always get is, what is the best way to go out and actually build this setup in my own life? For starters, you can check out details on any of these cards below at the links in the description. It is a free way to support the channel, and you'll see the most recent sign-up bonuses and offers that Chase has out there as well. For the first card I recommend that most people get, that would be the Chase Freedom Unlimited. This is because it is your most commonly used card in the setup. It comes with a standard 20,000 point sign-up bonus offer worth about $200 in cash, and you'll be using this card to build up everyday purchases, and for beginners, build up a solid credit reputation that will hopefully increase as you go along. The next card you could bring in is the Chase Freedom Flex. This will get you more comfortable in rotating quarterly categories, get you that cell phone protection as well, and it also traditionally comes with about a 20,000 point or $200 cash sign-up bonus too. So now you're starting to stack a lot of points by the time you're ready to bring in card number 3, which would be your Sapphire option. For the vast majority of people, I recommend the Chase Sapphire Preferred and its 60,000 point sign-up bonus. Not only is it hard to get bad value on this card, it's only a $95 annual fee, and you've seen what that point multiplier does when put in combination with your 2 Freedom cards in this trifecta. Now the only time I recommend getting the Sapphire Reserve is if you know you travel a ton, and that's because it has access to lounges, and that really enhances the experience, as well as things like a TSA pre-check, which will just make your airport experience quicker, easier, simpler, and you'll really be thanking yourself on the back end. Making sure you wait between 3 to 6 months on every single application to ensure that you do get accepted for the next card and don't hurt your credit history with an overload of inquiries all at once is really key in making this setup benefit you. Additionally, give yourself time to get the sign-up bonuses, and when you put them all together, you'll get around 100,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points worth of sign-up bonuses. And with that typical spend that we see the average person like you or me does, that will result in over 150,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points, which when you spend in the travel portal on a Sapphire card is going to be worth over $2,000 to you for travel through Chase. Now to put a bow on this whole breakdown of the Chase Trifecta, I want to give you 4 things I think you're absolutely going to love, and also 2 things you probably won't like so much, just in all honesty, about working with these 3 cards. First, you're gonna love how easy this setup is to use. You'll do all of your spending pretty much through those Freedom cards, and then move all the points that you accumulate over to one of your Sapphire cards for your redemptions. You really can't mess this up too much. Second, the Trifecta is easy to get value from on the back end. Unlike other card setups where you're really boxed in or limited in certain options to feel like you're getting real value from the points that you earned, we showed you here how transferring your points to either of the Sapphire cards are going to result on average in an above a 2% return on your spending. In the credit card game, that is the goal, and that is a pretty good standard to start with without any extra effort to do so. Number 3, this is a flexible setup. Even if for some reason you don't resort to going to a resort for travel, you can redeem these points for cash and still get a very fair value. Unlike with Capital One, where you'll only get 0.5 cents per point on your miles, or American Express, where you'll only get 0.7 cents per point on your points, you'll get a fair 1 cent per point value, which is certainly higher than those other two issuers and can make you feel comfortable that in the event you would need cash, you don't feel bad about pulling it out from your credit card rewards. And finally, point 4, and something we didn't even talk about much in today's video, is the transfer partner setup through Chase. Chase has some very valuable transfer partners, even here in the United States, that can be used for an even higher redemption value once you have all of your points set up and ready to go. For example, United and Southwest are two of Chase's transfer partners that you have the potential to earn a little bit more back from your spending at the end of the day. Additionally, Hyatt World of Hyatt Rewards program is a transfer partner with Chase, and through Hyatt, you can earn some fantastic values on some incredible resort properties or hotels here in the United States to get back for your points. Finally, I promised to reveal the weaknesses of this trifecta, and there are two that consistently stand out. First, there's no real good redemption for the category of gas spending. Other trifectas and different cards have much higher multipliers for the gas category, but you're really limited to just 3 months when the Freedom Flex rolls around its gas spend in that 5% cashback category. 2, if you're into cashback and are okay with earning 2% back and just want your cash back in straight cash, well, there are easier cards. And you could really just pick one. For example, the Robinhood Gold card earns 3% cash back, and it's really a no-frills, easy to use card that's not going to do too much else for you but earn a really flat rate. That's perfectly fine for a one card setup, and for some people will beat out the benefits of having the trifecta in their wallet. I hope this video allows you to get the ball rolling and get started in building out the Chase trifecta for yourself. If you like this type of content, I encourage you to subscribe for more detailed videos on how to maximize different Chase cards and take the trifecta that we talked about here today and use it to the absolute most benefit in your own life. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.